माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति और राज्यसभा के सभापति अतिथियों को संबोधित करेंगे।
Respected Rashtrapati Ji, Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha, Sri Om Birla Ji, Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi Ji, Sri Prahlad Joshi Ji, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Sri Ghulam Nabi Azad Ji, Sri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary Ji, Union Ministers, Members of Parliament, and other distinguished invitees, friends from the media. At the outset, I wholeheartedly extend my felicitations to the people of our country on this happy occasion of the 70th anniversary of adoption of the Constitution of India, an important milestone in the march of our country towards emerging as a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. It was only on this day, 70 years ago, that we, the people of India, gave ourselves this constitution by which the Union of India came into being. Our constitution is not a static sculpture cast in stone, but a living document. A document that was shaped by some of the India's finest minds and sensitive hearts. It is a document that we constantly engage with, trying constantly to shape our polity and governance in consonance with the spirit of this document. The fact that we have amended this document 103 times shows how actively we ensure that its relevance is not diminished in a country that is transforming itself very rapidly. On this occasion, I pay my tribute to the millions of freedom fighters who gave their lives to make us free citizens of independent India, the members of the Constituent Assembly, and in particular, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar for giving us this constitution, the longest written constitution in the world. On behalf of the entire nation, I salute these great sons of this great country for the great contribution they have made. It took almost 3 years to complete this formidable task. As chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar studied 60 constitutions, and with his deep knowledge of our society and the requirements for building a modern India, he coordinated the drafting of this document in a masterly fashion. It was a document that was extensively debated. 2,473 amendments were actually moved in the Constituent Assembly. It drew upon a number of features from the constitutions of different countries, including that of USA, UK, the then USSR, Ireland, Canada, France, Germany, Australia, and Japan. In his closing speech, while presenting the draft constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar expressed a sense of deep satisfaction at the work accomplished. At the same time, he was candid enough to express his fears as to what future has in store for India, that these duties are applicable to states as well. Unless each one of us perform one's duty, the rights of others cannot be realized. I would like to underline, unless each one of us perform one's duty, the rights of others cannot be realized. So my advice to all is, let every one of us do our duty, add to the beauty, and then make the country mighty. That's my advice to all. If we discharge our duties with dedication and commitment to the national objectives and constitutional values, the country will move faster on the development trajectory and will become a more mature democracy. It is why the Prime Minister has given this advice, as I said earlier. Our goal is to transform our nation. We should ensure that our performance is among the best in the world. We should be also thinking about individuals and see how can reform existing practices and systems. Innovation should be ingrained in our perspective on work and life. Finally, we have to be forward-looking and aim at transformation of our country in all spheres. We are all at the crucial cusp of our history, where we are steadily growing into a major world economy. We are on a transformatory path of inclusive development, building on our strengths of democracy and demand, as well as a trained workforce and a wide diaspora network. We are making our democracy work and are constantly trying to ensure that the fruits reach everywhere. Every citizen must have a feeling that is part of the developmental story. जो अंतिम पंक्ति में बैठे उनका उत्थान पहले होना चाहिए. It is time for us to focus on our rich human resources. Nature has given so much to us. We must protect the nature. Love and live with the nature. Nature, culture together for better future. That should be our line of thinking. It is time to remind ourselves of the duties enshrined in the Constitution. It is time to harness the talent of each citizen by taking a pledge to be part of this exciting journey ahead, to ensure that we do our duty and do it well. As Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in the ancient Indian text of Bhagavad Gita, even Krishna ji told this to Arjuna at that time, do your duty. Dear honorable members, while it is absolutely necessary to defend the fundamental rights relating to life, liberty, equality and freedom of expression, it is time that we as citizens take our duties towards the nation seriously. Entitlements come with the duties and responsibilities as well. Nation building cannot be the responsibility of the governance alone. Citizens have to play an equally important role. Our Constitution enlisted a set of 11 fundamental duties of the citizens towards the nation. One of the fundamental duties, let me highlight the ones I feel are quite important. The first is to protect the sovereignty. Protect the sovereignty at any cost, unity and integrity of our country. No creed or credo should cloud our vision. No other consideration except national unity and integrity should weigh in our mind. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion, region, India is one. We are one nation, one people, we must move together. That should be our approach. Related to this duty to promote harmony, transcending religions, linguistic and regional or sectorial diversities. विविधता में एकता भारत का विशेषता. अलग भाषा, अलग वेश, फिर भी अपना एक देश. Second is the duty to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of woman. In a country that has traditionally given a pride of praise to women, there has been an unfortunate tendency to discriminate against women and in isolated cases even resort to abuse and violent actions. The third is to protect the natural environment so essential for our existence and improved quality of life. The fourth is the duty to preserve the rich heritage and culture along with the language and literature that we have inherited. We must all respect our mother tongue. Mother tongue is like your eyesight. The other language is like your spectacles. Amma bhasha kalla lantidi. Itara bhasha kalladal lantidi. If you have eyesight, then the spectacles will improve better sight. So we must protect, promote, preserve, propagate, practice mother tongue at our respective places, whatever it is, whichever it is. The fourth is the rich cultural heritage. We must pay special attention to develop all Indian languages, all languages of India. They should be given more weightage, and we must try to inculcate our children to learn as many languages as possible, including foreign languages also. There should not be any problem on that count. The fifth is the duty to inculcate a strong civic sense and ensure cleanliness and orderly conduct, protect public property and adjure violence. The sixth is to strive for excellence. Let us not settle for mediocrity. Let quality, equality and conscience pervade in all that we do, in the way we conduct our business, in the way we deliver public services, and the way we teach, we reach, in the way we run the institutions, in the way we debate in legislature and the parliament. And we should not compromise on the quality. Excellence should be a way of our life. On this occasion, let us resolve to spread awareness among the citizens of our country about their fundamental duties. As an instrument of promoting this awareness, I suggest that fundamental duties be included in the curriculum at an appropriate level. The list of fundamental duties should be displayed in all education institutions, offices, public places across the country, and we must reach out to the youth through appropriate campaigns. The Constitution has created three organs of the state, namely the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive with well-defined jurisdiction. Let every organ work to its mandate without encroaching on that of the other. But for occasional frictions, the constitutional scheme has so far worked well. We should look for ways to work together even more effectively. We are passing through exciting times relating to our freedom, parliamentary democracy and becoming a republic. The historic 250th session of Rajya Sabha is in progress while we are celebrating the 70th anniversary of adoption of the Constitution. We are also celebrating 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who converted our freedom struggle into a mass movement leading to our freedom. Soon we are going to celebrate the 75th anniversary of our independence. I am grateful to Rashtrapati Ji for his accepting to release a coin and a postal stamp on the occasion of landmark of the 250th session of Rajya Sabha, and also for accepting to receive the first copy of the commemorative volume. I wish to thank the Ministry of Finance and the Department of Posts and Communications for bringing out these two coin and also postal stamp. On this momentous occasion, I pay my respectable homage to Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, the illustrious son of our great land. Today is the day who left us such an indelible mark on the history of India with his vast erudition and extraordinary vision, and also the other great sons of this great country who made this beautiful, mightiful Constitution of India. On this very occasion, happy occasion, let us resolve to strive for realizing these objectives enshrined in the Constitution of India by adhering to the letter and spirit of methods provided there. Let us strive for excellence in the discharge of our duties. We the people have to make up our mind to serve the nation and shape it the way we wish to ideally see it. I also would like to recollect the contribution, the extraordinary labor of love in writing the entire Constitution in his own handwriting without any remuneration, Sri Prem Bihari Narayan. If you look at the original Constitution, in every page his name is there. At the end, his signature is there. So this is the contribution he made in his own way at the time without expecting any remuneration. अतः संविधान दिवस के महत्वपूर्ण अवसर पर संविधान की मान्यताओं और मर्यादाओं के संरक्षण और संवर्धन के प्रति पुनः संकल्पबद्ध हो लोकतांत्रिक गणराज्य में सच सचेतक नागरिकों के सक्रिय और सार्थक प्रयास आवश्यक शर्त है। अतः संविधान में निहित आदर्शों और मर्यादाओं की पूर्ति के लिए जरूरी है कि नागरिक अपने अधिकारों के साथ साथ मूल कर्तव्यों का आस्थापूर्वक पालन करे और अपने निजी, सामुदायिक और व्यवस्थित जीवन में नागरिक कर्तव्यों का आत्मसात करे। संविधान दिवस के पावन अवसर पर, ये पावन अवसर है, स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन के आदर्शों और अपने संविधान निर्माताओं की आशाओं और अपेक्षाओं का और श्रद्धापूर्वक स्मरण करे और उन्हें पूरा करने का संकल्प ले। सदियों से गुलामी के बंधन में जकड़े इस देश को एक आधुनिक और प्रगतिशील संवैधानिक दृष्टि देने के लिए मैं श्रद्धेय डॉक्टर बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर जी के प्रति और अन्य महान भाव जिन्होंने अपना योगदान दिया, उनके सबके प्रति हार्दिक कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूँ। उनकी पुण्य स्मृति को विनम्र पूर्वक नमन करता हूँ। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।